Hello, Walking the Ropes fans. I am Blake, and welcome to the next episode of Walking the Ropes Wrestling Review for AEW Dynamite from Miami, Florida. In today's show, we have respect earned, a huge match made, new champions are crowned, a trios clash, and a jaw-dropping main event. But before that, make sure to check out the Walking the Ropes link tree for all things Walking the Ropes. To open the show, we had CM Punk joining commentary once again, and then we had a singles match between Malachi Black and Dante Martin with Lio Rush in his corner. And Dante has a huge test here as he gets his wish of a better challenge, as Malachi looks to continue his dominant ways in AEW as well. Dante shows some life here and there, but Malachi is a step ahead of Dante pretty well the entire time. Malachi is showing his technical abilities using Dante's momentum against him, but the one thing I will say about Dante is he has heart. He knows Malachi is more experienced than him, and he is not phased. He hits a springboard dive to the outside and even seems to have Malachi beaten with multiple springboard dives followed by that. Malachi has some rib trouble after he was he was holding Dante in a Boston Crab, and it seemed like he just let go of it without anything happening. But he was able to hit the spinning heel kick for the win, and staggers out of the ring, turns, and nods to Dante, seeming to have earned his respect. Dante did. But yes, Malachi Black defeats Dante Martin. For my Malteser scale, I gave that a 3.75 out of 5. It was a really solid match. I really enjoyed what was going on in the match, and it's really cool to see Dante getting a chance to progress and take on better opponents because he seems to have the skills to do so. We then get Jurassic Express talking about their pains from the Elite, saying they're all kind of hurt. And they are quickly interrupted by the Elite. Kenny and Adam Cole distract them while the Young Bucks hit super kicks on Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy. Adam then puts Jungle Boy in a camel clutch while the Bucks and Kenny powerbomb Luchasaurus through a table. The Inner Circle make their way to the ring for the Inner Circle reunion, and Santana starts out and says he and Ortiz have been watching what has been happening. Before he can finish, though, American Top Team comes out and starts making jokes about Inner Circle. Jericho talks about Paige Van Sant and says, asks if she has an obsession with Jericho. And he quickly moves on and says it's time to get down to business, and says they are ready for a 5-on-5 match, Inner Circle versus American Top Team. At this point, Men of the Year are American Top Team, so I'm not really specifying that it's Men of the Year and American Top Team, because pretty much until this is all done, it's Men of the Year are a part of American Top Team. Dan Lambert then says the Men of the Year have their sights set on championships, and then says that Sammy is the only one with the title to get the pull to make this match. But Lambert says he won't accept to what he has plans, talking about Sammy there. He says that he won't find out the rules he wants for this match until next week because he doesn't want to waste his breath anymore, even though he's in his hometown and he's getting booted out of the building. So they start to leave, but Sammy says that he is the Spanish god, and next week he will kick all of their asses. We then get the AAA Tag Team Championship match. Lucha Brothers defending against Las Super Ranas. Okay, so this match is a cool idea. I feel it's been executed a bit poorly, unfortunately. The program for this match has been. Andrade has masked friends that will take the AAA titles. Las Super Ranas are very clearly FTR, as called out by CM Punk very quickly on commentary. Now, I have nothing against FTR versus Lucha Brothers. Big fan of both teams. This match, awesome start to finish. Really loved all of it, even when they unmasked them and revealed that. What I didn't like was that we had something that seemed like it was going to be another Forbidden Door opening, and we were going to get a tag team. But we ended up like it was going to be a classic Lucha Libre match as well, because we were getting a team supposedly from AAA. And instead, we got a contrast in styles match, which is awesome. I love that. And I still really enjoyed the match. And I hope that the reason for this booking was that AEW did have a team lined up for this that, for whatever reason, could not make it that night, and they pulled out and made the switch on the fly, because the gear did look a bit rushed. It kind of looked like the joke gear we saw floating around when FTR was released from WWE. I have no idea if this was the case or not, but it just seems a bit odd. But either way, we were given a really hard-hitting match with a really shocking ending. The Lucha Brothers start to roll, and it seems like they may have it set for the win, hitting dives to the outside, and then they set up for the package piledriver combo. But FTR causes some trouble, and Cash sends Penta into the Timekeeper's table, and in the ring, Phoenix knocks down Dax for a moonsault. But Tully distracts the ref, and Dax grabs the AAA title and smashes Phoenix in the head mid-air and gets the win. FTR defeats the Lucha Brothers to win the AAA Tag Team Championships, or I guess the Super Ranas technically, but it's FTR. For my Malteser scale, I gave this a 2.75 for the booking. For the match itself, it's a 4 out of 5, 100%. But the booking, I give it a 2.75 because I feel like we could have done a bit better, honestly. There was... we could have just had FTR versus Lucha Brothers, but, you know, it is whatever. This was a one-night thing, as we find out later. Lio Rush talks about Dante and says that he had to experience failure in order to get to a better level. And now Dante has a new tag team partner, Lio Rush. FTR and Andrade are leaving the building, and MJF comes up and asks for the money from Andrade for his part of the deal. And that was only a one-night thing, he reminds Andrade. As he leaves, he kind of pats the money on Andrade's chest, and Andrade seems to be pretty upset with that. So we're probably moving on to an Andrade versus MJF program, potentially. We get a singles match, Jon Moxley versus Wheeler Yuta, and for some reason, Jon Moxley was sent out to kill Wheeler Yuta tonight. This match does not last long, as Moxley looks mad tonight. He literally smashes his way through, smashes Yuta in the face, tosses him around the ring, and then hits the paradigm shift for the win. I'm really confused. It seems like we're setting up for a heel turn for Moxley, and I'm looking forward to that. I don't think killing Yuta was the way to go about this. Either way, Jon Moxley defeats Wheeler Yuta, and for my Malteser scale, I gave it a 2.5 out of 5. It just felt a bit odd, honestly. We then get Serena Deeb talking about beating Shida and says that she needed to drag this division to her level, so that's her plan. Shida comes in and jumps her, and they brawl as we move on to our next match. And it's a trios match, the Super Click versus the Dark Order. The Dark Order's Evil Uno, Alex Reynolds, and John Silver. The Dark Order looks to beat the Super Click in hopes of them not getting involved in Page's match at Full Gear. They come out looking strong, but the Elite are their usual antics, and they jump the Dark Order to start. It's a huge match for the Dark Order going against one of the best trios in the world, and they do look ready for the challenge as they answer most of the Elite's cheating ways. But the Elite are, elite at what they do, and they just beat down the Dark Order. But Johnny Hungy, he double suplexes the Bucks, and the Dark Order looks like they are back in it for the moment, but the Super Click goes for their and eventually the Super Click is able to go for their taunt thing, the camel clutch with the kiss on the cheek, but the Dark Order stops them. And Stu and Uno end up doing it instead. And they end up dumping Cole outside with the "get over here" Stu and Uno move. Dark Order seems to have Cole beaten at this point as Uno hits something evil, but the Bucks make the save on the pin, and Cole and Alex go back and forth in the ring until the Bucks come in and hit a super kick on Alex, followed by a Panama Sunrise from Cole, a BTE trigger, and finished off with Adam Cole lowering the boom for the win. The super click defeats the Dark Order. For my Malteser scale, I gave this a 3.75 out of 5. It was a solid match. I enjoyed it through and through. It seems like we're setting up for a Dark Order match versus the bigger Elite minus Kenny at Full Gear to distract them from the match at Full Gear. Jungle Boy then comes out and goes right at Adam Cole and is quickly dumped outside, where he grabs a chair and the super click leaves Cutler in the ring. Jungle Boy then takes out Cutler with the chair and then locks in the snare trap as the super click leaves. We're then shown a video package of Cody training with Arn and the Nightmare Factory. It seems like we are setting up for Malachi versus Cody 3. We're later confirmed that with a graphic. While I am okay with that, I hope Malachi wins again, as Cody winning doesn't seem necessary. Honestly, the match doesn't seem necessary, but it's fine. MJF makes his way to the ring and asks why he got no introduction from Justin Roberts. He has no match is why. MJF says he and Darby have a match, but that was agreed upon last week, but that was before Darby got jumped by the Pinnacle. MJF then forces a ref out to the ring by Wardlow to make the 10 count, but as the ref hits 9, Sting makes his way to the ring. And MJF pushes Wardlow in front of him and runs as Sting takes out Wardlow with the bat. MJF looks like he's gonna come in the ring, but then he just leaves. We then get Anna Jay talking about the Dark Order's loss. Britt interrupts her and says that the super click dominated tonight. And Anna then hits a big elbow and they brawl and are separated by the refs. We then get a singles match, Kiera Hogan versus Penelope Ford. Hogan looks to stun Ford and stop her momentum and maybe start a decent run for herself, as Ford looks to continue her dominant ways as she slowly beats on Hogan. And Ford is picking apart Hogan and not letting her get anything going. Hogan, though, keeps coming back with and eventually hits a superplex and starts to show some life, and looks like to maybe try and finish it quickly, but Ford hits a stunner out of nowhere, followed by a springboard cutter and a Muda lock for the win. Penelope Ford defeats Kiera Hogan. For my Malteser scale, I gave this a 3 out of 5. I did enjoy the match. It just felt a bit out of nowhere. It seems like it just kind of was there to promote what happens after, which is Ruby Soho comes out and beats on Ford and sends her running, which we're setting up for something there. Well, obviously. Miro asks for answers from his god, and he asks why he lost and why he was given a neck of sand. It says that he will once again become the favorite champion. Maybe he's going to go for the world championship. Adam Page makes his way to the ring and talks about where it all started for AEW, says that the world changed him, and talks about failing to be the first champion, says he lost his confidence and himself, but never lost the fans. Talks about everything that brought him here, talks about winning the ladder match, and says now he's ready to take on Kenny because for the fans still believe in him, and for the first time, he believes in himself too. He promises to give it everything at Full Gear. We then get our main event of the night, Bobby Fish versus Bryan Danielson. So I know I've said this before, but I love AEW. They give us matches like this on TV, and they give them the time to tell their story in the ring, or I guess outside of the ring in some cases. These are two amazing technical wrestlers, and they are showing exactly why they are. They show us. They started out slowing build slowly building to an explosive dive to the outside where the level of the match just escalates from there on out. They hold nothing back here as they go back and forth. Bobby takes his time to taunt the crowd and even kicking the barricade at one fan. That was actually really cool to see. I didn't really understand what the fans said to him, but I wanted to know what happened there, it was really cool to see. And these two escape a hold by applying another hold to the person, so it's so seamless. If you blink, you miss it. Brian starts to target Bobby's knee, smashing it into the ring post, and goes back into the ring and looks like he's going to finish it, but Bobby catches the kick and then goes to the top rope with Brian and hits a Falcon Arrow for a near fall, and as Brian kicked out, he switched into a heel hook, and Danielson responds with one of his own, and the two men just kick each other with their free heel on and have heel hooks locked in on each other. Danielson then kind of stands up a little bit, hits a big stomp, and then wrenches down on the heel hook, and Bobby taps out. For my Malteser scale, I gave this a 4.5 out of 5. I loved the match. I really couldn't argue about anything that happened in that match. And after the match, the AEW World Title Eliminator Tournament is announced. We have Dark Order's 10 taking on Jon Moxley, Orange Cassidy versus Powerhouse Hobbs, Dustin Rhodes versus Bryan Danielson, and Lance Archer versus Eddie Kingston. My early prediction for this tournament is Jon Moxley versus Bryan Danielson in the finals, with Danielson taking it and going to face on the world champion. This obviously concludes at Full Gear, so by this point, I believe the world champion will be Hangman Adam Page. So, Bryan Danielson versus Hangman Adam Page, give it to me every day of the week. I'm looking forward to it. My overall for the show, I gave it a 3.5 out of 5. Excuse me. It was an awesome show. I loved it. There were some booking issues that obviously happen here or there. I'm not too bothered by it. It was still a really solid show. My match of the night goes to the main event. My segment of the night is the Inner Circle's reunion. And then for the performer of the night, I give it to Dante Martin, Bryan Danielson, and Bobby Fish. They all deserved it. And if you... I think they recorded Rampage and Dynamite back to back. I could be wrong about that. But if that was the case, Bryan Danielson and Bobby Fish did 2 matches back to back that night, which is fantastic. But that is all for this match. My goodness, for this episode of Walking the Ropes Wrestling Review. Thank you all for dropping in. If you enjoyed, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to get notifications whenever we upload a video. And I'll see you in the next one.